The only thing that we will have to stock up on a bit more, I feel, is probably going to be logistics. Is that guy dabbing? Alright everyone, hello and welcome back to another episode on Good Company with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to our magnificent company and our newest addition to the production lineup that we have got going out here. We are still very much working on these robotic pipe cleaners, and thank you very much to Taneris for actually suggesting what I think is a pretty decent name for the robotic pipe cleaners. That's certainly a very fun one. I did just check back here on the Blueprint Designer, and we have actually saved this the last time around. So we won't be able to change this just yet on the current iteration of the product, but I will most certainly make sure that once we progress to the next iteration, we start adopting that naming scheme. Now, last time we kind of left off, we had hired the first few employees, you know, split the logistics zone. We had made this little construct to bring all the materials over to final assembly, and we already got backlog going on some of these lines. But I did make a, I would say, somewhat detrimental discovery. Discovery being that we are absolutely 100% totally missing a production line out here, and I totally forgot to get that going. So what we do still need then is the actual robot case that we are using on this pipe cleaner. Now if we look at this, I want to actually quickly find out what kind of case we're using for this, which we can not find out in here, but we should be able to find out about that down here. And well, we're using a hardened bot chassis, which is actually a rather complicated affair, you can see. I'm not even sure why we're using a hardened bot chassis, to be honest, because given the low amount of things we're throwing in there, a metal bot chassis would have been enough for ages, but I suppose, you know, that future-proofs our production a bit or something. So we will need a lot of stuff here. We'll need plastic parts as well, which is going to be kind of annoying. We need the metal sundries, which I'm not sure I have enough of. And then on top of that, we will even need chemical compounds. So, I mean, chemical compound is something that we can easily make on the side on one table. For these things, I'm not too sure. The thing is, I don't think we can really bring this over to that production somehow, because, well, this is all already intertwined. We're using a lot of these plastic parts, of course, also for this production. I think we would have to get a separate table going for that. Now, the most important question really is, can we get enough metal sundries out of that automation that we've got going down below, or will we even potentially, and very annoyingly, need another line just to make sure that we've got enough going? I hope that's not going to be the case, but we're going to have to go and see. And for that purpose, let's go and get a welding table for a start. Now we're just gonna go and set up a metal bot chassis thing on. Now I've got 0.6 days for that, 0.6 days for that too. In terms of the amounts that I needed, I had 2 going for the time being. Technically, I guess I need 2 tables, don't I? That's the same thing I've got going out here, isn't it? I've got 0.6 days for these and 0, yeah, okay. So we will need 2 of these tables, which means that we will need 10 metal sundries every 0.6 days. Question being, do we have that many remaining? I think we do, because this is all... What are we feeding into with this here? Oh, we're feeding, okay. So, we are feeding into... Nope. Let's get rid of that camera lock. Unfortunately, every time I reload the game, that resets itself. But get rid of that. We have got 4 every point. Wow. Okay, so we've got 8. And then we've got another... Okay, so we've got 18 every 0.6 days. We're making 50 every day. God. I think I want to do some calculating here, you know, just make that a bit quicker. I've got my phone on the side here, right? So, if we have this many every 0.6 days, that means that we have... Wait, what? No, that absolutely makes no sense what I just did there. We will have 30 being... Okay, I mean, that's honestly a straightforward calculation. So we've got 30 that we are using out here every day currently. I mean, it's tight, but I think it's doable, right? Yeah, we're good. Given my very professional phone calculations, we will be using an additional like 16.6 metal sundries every day using this, because of course 2 tables with 5 metal sundries each means that we use 10 every 0.6 days, which means 16.6 every day, basically. And we have got like 20 remaining, so we should be good. We'll need to see about the logistics implications of this, you know. Ideally, I would really want to get a conveyor belt going for this, but it's gonna, of course, obstruct things a bit and make them... I think we should, though. I think we should do that. No, we can't, because we will be blocking things out here if we do. Okay, we will have to move that by means of logistics employee, I think. As little as I like to, and as much as I would like to avoid that, we will do it that way. So, let's set some basics up here for the time being. We've got the metal bot chassis, which we're going to make out here on those welding tables. Actually, probably more... Well, we can fix that in a second. We will then, of course, also have some more welding tables, which I'm currently kind of thinking, could we make this some fancy sort of cornery, like welding corner like setup? Would be cool, wouldn't it? So something more like that. And I mean, I think this could in theory work. You know, we would have like a small shelving rack right here and a small shelving rack right there. Ideally, we would have it set up more like that, though. We can do that. Okay, so we've got our welding corner going out here. I think that's kind of nice. We will keep this in this setup then, and we will ultimately have the hardened bot chassis being taken care of up here. Then we do, of course, need some of the side things as well. So what we will do then is we'll get another 2 tables going. I think this, yeah, one being a precision, actually, yeah, one being a precision workbench, which we're going to place up here, and another being a chemistry table, which we will place up there. I think we'll just give them the same small shelving rack. That should make the logistics side of things a bit quicker, I hope, and in terms of capacity it should totally work out. And then of course we will make the 2 things... Actually, it won't really change anything in terms of logistics speed. Anyways, streamlines the design a bit, I guess. Whatever. We'll keep it going like that, and then we will, of course, out here need to add some buy orders, one for plastic and one for chemicals, and for both of which we will get like 3 stacks of each. We will then go and set up the logistics of that out to there. We will make this here and that there, and pull that in there, and pull that in there. I'm not quite sure... So you make 5 out of 10, and you make 10 out of... Okay, so I think we will go for a bit of a different approach in both of these. So this guy makes less out of the amount that he already has. So we'll give the incoming amount the bigger stack, right? And this guy makes more plastic parts out of the ones out of the plastic that he gets. Which, yes, that stack is small. Is it actually 5 and then 10? No, it's 4 and then 10. So yeah, yes, that stack is smaller right here, but he does still, in relation, use less plastic than plastic parts, so we will make the outgoing stack bigger, basically. Just a little bit of optimizing to be done right there, I suppose. This stuff right here needed the chemical compound, so that's going there and that's going there, and then these are going to go there. That's going to go right there. The outs are going to be set up like that. And then, of course, that will have to be carried over to there, while these things are being carried over to there, and the rods are being carried over to right there. And from out here, we will also need to get metal into that, and metal into that. Then, we've got some spare spaces out here, with which, or for which I am not 100% sure how we want to configure them. I would very much like to relate stack size to this right now. That's quite a list of things. So 1255. I think metal stack size we definitely want to increase. Well, for metal sundries or plastic parts, it really doesn't matter. There's no difference. So we'll just increase the outgoing size instead. Then out here, 141. Feels like we do want to once more increase the metal stack size. And we'll just do the outgoing again. And then we've got these things on the thing right here, which will of course then eventually be carried over to right there. We don't have anything set up for that just yet though. Beautiful. That is now also the cases set up then. One point that I had utterly forgotten. I was really worried about that we would not have the frequency to fulfill the metal sundry demand for that, but luckily and evidently we very much did, so good news right there, I would say. Now, the thing is that this does make the logistics setup a bit more complicated, because things do need to be carried about the place a bit more, but I hope that it's still going to be manageable and that. Well, I mean, one way or another, this is all I can say. It was a lot of employees and a lot of costs, so it should very much still be going the right way, I would hope. Now, that's the cases set up. All this down here was already set up, and this out here we just recently freshly set up, basically. Now, what we will actually need to see is, do we have an out for this yet? We do not. Okay, so we will get the out for that going, and we will, of course, get the out for that going. The rods do have an exclamation mark, but that should be fine. I'm not sure why these still have an exclamation mark after I set up an out for them. Because they do not appear in there? Oh, there's no space in here anymore. No, what? Is that this small shelving rack? No, it is not. Oh, okay, yes, I was... No, what? I'm utterly confused. This is configured. This goes there. Why is there still an exclamation mark? These are volumes, right? And that's coming from there, and that's coming from there. And that's also coming from there, so why do we have an issue here exactly? Why is this still yellow? Is it because it's saying that, like... I'm really not sure why there's a yellow exclamation mark on that part. Then again, these also have yellow, but that's because the game doesn't know where they're coming from, which, well, technically they're coming from the conveyors. That's why the logistics system is a bit confused there, and I mean, that's the same reason we have this yellow icon on the rod right here. I'm wondering if the yellow icon on the rod is maybe why we're having the exclamation mark on the single jointed segments? That doesn't make any sense to me, because we do have an out configured, and we've got the way in configured for them too, so there shouldn't be any issues on that. Kind of gets me worried, not gonna lie, but we're gonna have to keep it going like that for the time being, and then, well, hopefully, you know, that's just gonna work, and we're not gonna have any hiccups with it. We'll see. Other than that, I mean, this is all the things that we're gonna push into the production, of course, and we're gonna increase the stack size for that a tad bit. This right here, it's totally fine if that's empty for the time being. In fact, we can probably already pre-configure that too. We've got this defined right here, right? And we've even got that defined right there, which is absolutely magnificent. So what we can do is just define that comes from there, that comes from there, and that comes from there. Now, what we will also be defining is that comes from there, and what I really don't like is all these blocked slots in here due to what happens previously at these conveyors down there. Can't do anything about that, but we're still going to max out the available bandwidth for the logic circuits that we do still have, most certainly. Okay, so that is all in here now too, so we will go and match that very bit. And then in the big shelving rack, I mean, we do have a lot of space, so we may as well just triple the stack sizes and everything. You know, the way that this is currently set up, we do not need the big shelving rack is storage for the end products, because the employees can literally just put them right onto the selling shelf, so nothing to worry about right there. That is all the ins configured for the product as well, which is beautiful. The only thing that we probably still need is to just kind of add roles for the parts that we will have to pick up. Now, I will have to carefully pick these out to be the right ones. We'll just make it full stacks, because in the end it doesn't really matter anyways. I hope that it still picks them up individually if they come in individually, which, thinking about it, that may not happen. Could that be an issue? Should I just make it individual ones? Like, I'm kind of worried that if I make it individual ones, things just get moving way too slowly. So maybe it's going to be a bit of a task of striking a balance. I think if I make it stacks of 20, if the stack existent in the storage shelf is smaller, that may mean for me that it just doesn't pick up anything until it has 20, which is something that I guess we're going to have to find out together. If that's the case, we're maybe going to lower it to like 5 or something, so that like it certainly makes sure to quickly move things, but it also doesn't wait till 20, so things keep flowing rather consistently. I think that's something to find out. We're going to keep it at 20 for now. We're just going to see how that develops when we get there. Other than that, that feels like everything's done now, though. I spent a lot of time on this, but it feels like everything's done here now. So, I feel that we will get things moving now. Is everything considered? We're connected, rather. Do we have any further exclamation marks out here? Not quite sure why we have those right there. Probably because the game doesn't register that either, unless I messed up any pickup frequency, which I do not think should be the case. Yeah, that's all fine. Then just quickly looking around if there's any more like exclamation marks or anything that we should be worried about. The only thing that I am really still worried about is this stuff. We'll have to see how that pans out. This down here we've already had pre-running sort of somewhat, so that should overall be fine, I think. Only potential concern being that we don't have any backlog in logic circuits yet. So maybe something to also quickly wait for? Especially, wait. Why is this now not picking any more up? Oh, because there's a missing metal. Yeah, so let's quickly wait for a tad bit of backlog right there, I think. What we can already do is go to zones and add like 2 logistics employees to that one so that the backlog building goes a bit faster. Other than that, I think we can also already add like a first few logistics employees to that zone right there, because why in the world not? They can already get some products in the shelves for my employees to work with in a second, and well, then, you know, hopefully we will get some logic circuits going here too, because we are absolutely still missing some things, are we not? Why is this not flowing? Oh yeah, because we don't have any circuit boards yet, and we don't have any circuit boards yet because we're still missing metal in this very shelf out here. So, employees? Why are we missing this? Base? Oh, this is logistics only. Well, looks like we already found a mistake. Oh god, that's the absolute single reason that this wasn't working away, and if we wouldn't have discovered this now while just taking things a bit more slowly, you know, that would have been an absolute mess. So very glad that we just now managed to discover that, because, you know, that way this production can actually get going, and, well, you know, we don't have to utterly be concerned about this stuff. Yeah, cool. I think that is then fine. Let's go out and hire a ton of employees. We're going to literally go all over the place, just hire absolutely everyone that we want. It's going to be an absolute bit of madness getting all these people in here. Probably just going to have to start hiring, by the way, for the lower down products in the production chain, just to ensure that in case we actually end up running out of employees to hire again, we've at least got the initial things all covered by employees. Then again, you know, with the grade of automation that we've got going down this production chain, I'm not even too concerned that we will even run out of employees to hire. That said, we just ran out of research topics to take care of, so let's schedule the next thing. We did do the advanced audio module, I think, in order to be able to do these kinds of things. I don't really think we've got any major overarching objectives out here, so we'll literally just move on to getting like the perfect battery going or something. Let's do that. Cool. I mean, that's not even going to take long, to be honest, given our current research setup. We're going to be done with that in no time. We will go and hire people for this too. I think overall that's everything, is it? Have I missed any employees? No, that's even covered. I think everything is pretty much fine. The only thing that we will have to stock up on a bit more, I feel, is probably going to be logistics. Is that guy dabbing? Is that guy dabbing right now? What in the world? Chasing carrots, feeling very adventurous with me today. Oh, beautiful. I think 3 logistics employees in the green zone should honestly be more than fine, so we're going to keep it at that for the time being. Yeah, I think that's cool. I hope that's cool. I mean, they're pushing a lot of materials into these shelves, so that may be a reason for concern, and another point that I'm just actually catching on to right now, so we're not using the bandwidth of this thing. Maybe we should actually quickly make sure that we're using the bandwidth on all of these. So let's have a quick look around. This all seems to be used properly. That's all used properly. I mean, these we just took care of. Out here, that's all fine. That's totally good. And that is, wait, is that this? No, that can't be. Why? And does it even matter? I don't know why. Or we're just gonna make sure to use that again. Maybe I just lowered it because I was like, why in the world would I need that many metal sundries backlogged? Which is honestly a fair point. We're just gonna go do like that. You know, don't need to push too much materials and too much in terms of materials into the chain. If we totally overdo it, that's not going to do anything for us. This out here, looking good, I think. That, looking good, and looking beautiful. Okay, let's continue then, and let's see this all unfold. We have got logic circuits coming in, which is absolutely beautiful. I was getting worried, but that's all totally fine for us, and the backlog is nicely developed. I think that also should keep my logistics employees a little less busy, especially, you know, now with that all backlogging 2 out here, and well, that's all actually got to go over to here. Yeah, I mean, that's totally fine. I think my 3 logistics employees up here should hopefully very much cope, unless we have an issue right here with the plastic parts. I hope that this employee can actually keep up with what's needed. I think in theory the frequency was fine. Maybe it's just a missing backlog that's kind of making things a bit harder than expected for us here. Don't really like that part because these guys up here do need their plastic parts. Now the good thing being that we've got this extra stuff down here, and I technically do have a bit of overhang that I can just feed into that production for a quick minute. But ideally I will not have to keep doing that, so that's something to closely monitor. Worst case, I'll just get another guy doing these plastic parts, but I think that in theory this backlog should increase, not decrease. In theory. In practice it's not quite looking like that, is it? Wait, we're using 20 of these every day. We're making 10 of these every 0.4 days. So we should be making more than we're using. We should be making more than we're using. We should literally be making the required amount. So I feel that the only answer to this is we are missing some backlog, basically. Now out here, yeah, so this is kind of the point that I was worried about. We will have to lower this to like 5 units so that all is back in shape and, you know, actually working. Because the thing is that this pickup mechanism also picks things up sequentially. So given that it's already moved 5 hard bot chassis, which are over there, or 20, I guess? Has it? Maybe not. one way or another, it seems to be waiting for the medium DC motors, off which we currently have absolutely zero out here. Now, the question being why, the answer being I absolutely, marvelously forgot. That's not the way that you say that, but I absolutely, like a champ, forgot to hire the employees that I need for that. So, you know, it's a bit of an issue. Other than that, well, I don't know. I hope that this guy's going to catch up, because we're absolutely missing out on batteries currently. That said, you know, we've got the backlog. We're going to feed it like this for the time being, and in theory, it should work out. We're going to give that guy a bit more time to actually develop a bit of a backlog. Maybe we can even just help with the backlog through pulling some stuff into there. It kind of feels like that backlog is going down, though, which is weird, because that should not be the way that this is working. Maybe that is due to this guy having his pickup time and everything, and that actually slowing down my expected frequency a bit, you know, not matching quite my expectancy. Could be. I'm not quite sure. But this is now working away nicely, which is beautiful. Actually kind of weird, though, because he apparently is just... What is that? Is that 5 of them? That was, oh, okay, that was 3. So he does do the smaller amounts of items, but he does not move on to the next item before he has moved 5 of said items. So, certainly, a bit of cause for concern right there. But that said, there go our first ones of these guys, which is absolutely beautiful. We're going to max out the cell order space, of course. Not sure why that was set to be at 6 units of that, but that is our first robotic pipe cleaners then finally constructed. It took an absolute age to even get this underway, but we have finally got it going properly, and we're just going to steal some materials from out here again and feed that manually into there. I kind of feel like we're going to have to fix this part with the plastic parts eventually. I'm not quite sure what the issue is, but we most certainly seem to have one. There even seems to have developed an issue down here, which I don't seem to quite be able to pin down. Why can we not put any more materials on here? The reasoning being that apparently something didn't match up for the frequencies or something. Oh, yep. So this here is an absolute nightmare. Not sure why I did that, but I do of course need to do 5 and then 40 and not just random amounts. I think I changed that in the last episode, and it made sense to me back then, because I was like, oh, I can move things faster, but of course that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. We need to change that to this, and we need to now move things over manually. Kind of glad we did at least discover this issue before it absolutely messed up everything, but that is something that you can just not have happen to you, so shouldn't be doing that again. Luckily, we did manage to fix that issue for ourselves somewhat. Now, this guy, we will have to take care of, but I think we will take care of him in the next episode, and for now, we will just chill and indulge in our successor finally getting the first robotic pipe cleaners manufactured, underway, and sold. And, well, then hopefully in the next episode we're going to get back to it. We're going to fix the issues that we've discovered thus far. Then we're going to see how much of a backlog of products we can actually generate with these 2 assembly tables, and potentially even move on to a 3rd one. But for today then, I'm going to end it off right here. I hope you all very much enjoyed the episode. As usual, if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does help out immensely with the discoverability on YouTube. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as smashing that bell icon to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way then, as usual everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next episode very, very soon. Ciao.